the more rak'at you're praying, the night prayer and all the rest. But we've got to get the obligatory in there first. So if you're not praying, how do you start praying? You start by worrying about these 5 prayers. And not worrying about sunan and rawatib and optional, and then you add in the most important of the optional prayers, which is the witr and the 2 rak'at before fajr. And then you add in the rawatib, the 12 rak'ah in the day that lead to a house being built for you in paradise. And then you go on to add in the extra virtuous prayers, the night prayer and such, until you are praying all of those voluntary prayers. But what did you start with? You started with a solid base. You started with a firm base. The obligatory deeds were there on time. Now that doesn't mean that because you're not praying 5 times a day, give up giving sadaqah and give up all the other voluntary deeds you're doing. No, keep them there because they'll be useful for you. But recognize that your priority has to be getting the obligatory before you go on to the optional. وَالْوُقُوفِ عِنْدَ الْحَدِّ, and sticking to Allah's limits. Because ya ikhwani, Allah has put limits for you and for I. تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ, these are the limits set by Allah. فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا, so don't go over them. تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, so don't come near to them. The limits of Allah are very serious. Allah puts certain limits, certain things, certain borders that you can and you can't do. And to understand this, we have a hadith that is narrated by Al-Bayhaqi and Al-Hakim and others from the hadith of An-Nawas ibn Sam'an radiyallahu ta'ala an, in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا صِرَاطًا مُسْتَقِيمًا, Allah gave you a parable of the straight path. So now the Prophet ﷺ is going to give you a parable, an example by which you can understand the points that we've just made.